Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for today, Wednesday, September 6th of 2023. Appreciate you all joining me in this video. Hope that you guys are having a wonderful week so far. It is hump day, and we have some good energies going on today. We have a third quarter square of the moon to the sun. Of course, we still have the sun conjuncting Mercury here in Virgo. We also are having a moon sextile Venus, which has recently gone direct. So definitely some interesting energy. As you can see, I do have a little banner going across the bottom. I just figured I add like a little bit of flair to it. I actually saw this in someone else's video, and I was like, let me add that and see what we have going on. So I just put kind of like the basic horoscope at the bottom. And then we also have today's meditation, because I have like this cool book right here, like Self-Meditation by Barbara Ann Kipfer. So I think every day I'm going to just pick something out of here and throw it across the bottom. Why not, right? Just add a little bit of flair to the video. Anyways, let's hop into the horoscope and see what we got going on today. Well, as of the current moment, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do have that moon over here in Gemini at 8 degrees, right? So I talked a little bit about this yesterday, how Mercury will be definitely triggering this moon, and how certain thoughts can definitely trigger certain emotions that come up. And you just want to be careful that you don't get too lost in the sauce. It is coming off of that square to Saturn, but the moon will also be squaring both Mercury and the sun today. So going through its third quarter square, of course, it will sextile Venus before it gets to that point too. So, like I said, this moon in Gemini, it's a very curious kind of energy. You could feel even comforted by exploring and being more curious. Now, the moon, of course, at this current moment is in that decan ruled by Mercury. So it has a Mercury that's dispositing it, even though it is retrograde, but it has a Mercury that's dispositing this moon. And then it'll move into the decan ruled by Venus, which Venus has recently gone direct. And let's actually just hop on over to that moment, right? So around 2:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to see that moon at 12 degrees of Gemini make its square over, not square, excuse me, the sextile over to Venus at 12 degrees, while it's beginning its square to all of this energy right here. But let's focus on the sextile first. Now, sextiles bring opportunities generally, right? That's like the buzzword for the sextile energy. But just because an opportunity comes up and arises doesn't mean that we're always going to take advantage of the opportunity. But you can also have opportunities to do quote unquote positive things or quote unquote negative things, right? So an opportunity, generally when we think of it, has like a positive connotation. Now with this sort of energy, this moon that's in Gemini, that's going to be making the sextile. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 comes back to the Jupiter energy. Jupiter, which of course is retrograde and starting to deflate. You're going to start to feel it even more, just the deflation that Jupiter is going through. But Venus is not feeling deflated, right? Venus, even though Venus is going to be still at this degree for the next several days, it's been at this degree for a while. It'll be at this degree for a total of almost 2 weeks. But Venus is feeling more confident now, right? Venus is kind of back on her shit, right? And now with this moon that's in sextile, it's going to provide this great opportunity where Venus is going to start to be like, okay, all right, I am, getting ready in the mirror, whatever like that. I'm feeling a lot more confident, feeling better. I feel like I can move forward. I can receive my own heart, receive this love and this joy and passion. With the sextile to the moon, it's going to give us opportunities. It's like, okay, maybe I want to explore that connection. Maybe I want to explore that connection. Maybe I want to, kind of travel down and see where that takes me. So Venus is going to be a little bit more curious with this moon in Gemini and sextile to her, right? Gives her an opportunity to really start to think. It's like, okay, where can I go? Where can I take from? And it's interesting too, because the moon is behind Venus. So in many ways, it's going to be sort of like looking to the past in many ways. I'm seeing it as like, you know what? Maybe kind of going within our past and kind of seeing, all right, what things did I explore before? What projects, what made me curious before, and these things, how can I take these to the next level? I think really that's what this is coming down to. How can I take these things to the next level? These things that I explored, these things that I was curious about, these things that kind of piqued my interest, these little cookie jars that I kind of stuck my hand into, before, are there any cookie jars that I want to stick my hand back into? Are there anything that I want to pursue again? Maybe these are things that might have fallen by the wayside. Maybe these are things that you weren't really confident that you can, actually pursue or do. Maybe you used to play piano when you were younger and you stopped playing piano. This will be a time today where you actually have the opportunity to pick it back up. And maybe you don't become like a famous keyboardist or anything like that, but maybe you just kind of do it for fun. And it probably will start off as that for the start. Maybe you just do it for fun, but that gives you an opportunity, especially now with a sun that has conjuncted Mercury. The Cazimi has happened, burning away a lot of the impurities of any type of stuck thoughts that we have had when it comes to this energy, especially being that it's in Virgo, which is mutable Earth. So this means that you can actually mutate the world around you. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be an opportunity today where we can actually pick up something that we might have let fall by the wayside, or something that really did give us joy and passion at one point, and maybe still does. We just weren't really as engaged with it. This gives us an opportunity to kind of pick that thing back up and reintegrate it back into our life. Probably because that thing is going to give us some sense of peace, some sense of joy. It's going to kind of help us through this moment, probably even some type of healing, you know? So, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that turns into what you do for a living. It could, but I think this is going to be an opportunity for us to kind of pick up something where maybe we dropped the ball at one point, or maybe, there's something that we just haven't really done much as of lately. So this can be the reinvigoration of dreams too. That's the other thing about this. Maybe you have a dream that is reinvigorated today, and you sort of come into this sort of aha moments, like, you know what? Yeah, it didn't go exactly the way I thought it was going to. I'll use myself for an example. I'm going to be what? How am I 32? I'm going to be 32 this year. Almost forgot my age. I'm going to be 32 this year, and I'm a writer. I love to write. But I've written a variety of things, from like just a bunch of poetry to just uh, trying to start my own novels, and I've done articles and all kinds of different things, right? And horoscopes, I'm starting to write those more and starting to get into the habit of writing actual horoscopes. So I'm a writer, right? Now, I'm sure when I was 10 years old, I thought by this point I was going to be a famous author. Not quite the case, right? But that doesn't mean that I let that dream die per se. And also, dreams mutate. You got to think dreams is Pisces and it's mutable water. So dreams do change. That's the other thing about it. Now, Saturn is here wanting to give some structure to the dream, wanting us to have like a plan for the dream. That's the other cool thing about this. 1 + 2, 1 + 2. And we have Saturn here also harmonizing at that number with the 3. So, and I remember Jupiter is a traditional ruler of Pisces, so it's dispositing this. So this is a time where it's like, what, certain dreams that we may have thought were just dreams, they can actually be a reality. But the thing is that we have to give them some type of structure, right? You can't just, water without a glass is just going to flow everywhere. It's just going to move everywhere. So it has to have some type of container. Even the ocean, right? Even the ocean, which seems ever flowing and ever moving and ever changing, it still has a container. That's why it doesn't just fall off the earth or evaporate off the earth or whatever like that. Even the ocean itself has a container. It's a massive container, but even the ocean has a container. So that's the thing. When we want to make our dreams happen, we have to have some type of structure to it. That's what Saturn is teaching us right now. the question is whether or not you're going to make your dreams happen, or are you going to make someone else's dreams happen? It's something that my dad's been telling me a lot lately, and just saying in general is like either you make your dreams happen, or you work really hard to make someone else's dreams happen. You know, I think this is going to be a great opportunity today for us to realize, like, hey, I can kind of get back into that thing. So for me, I guess it'll be writing, right? To just, write. I could write every day. It's probably what I should do, right? But today, like for me, especially, would be a great opportunity, especially with the moon being in Gemini. And Gemini is about communication and writing and stuff, and as is Virgo with the Mercury and Sun there. This will be a great opportunity for me, just using myself as an example, to actually do some writing. Maybe actually start that novel. I have so many up here. It's crazy, but it's also utilizing your resources, right? Like for example, I'll go ahead and show you. One of my things is that I have all these different ideas, right? But the main ones, I feel like I'm supposed to be writing a book of parables, if you will, a book of stories with my own characters in them, right? Um, that talk about different facets of spirituality and different facets of life and growing up and different lessons and stuff like that. But I want to give life to the characters that kind of pop up in my head. And I discovered writing and drawing around the same time, but I never really gave drawing the amount of attention that I gave the writing, if you will. Now, what I want to show you guys here, can I cast this to my computer? That would be cool if I could do that. Make sure other than it's it's on Wi-Fi. Can I cast this on here? That would be freaking dope if I could. I could just share the picture actually. Here, that's what I'll end up doing. I'm gonna just share this picture to my email. Let me just Gmail it to myself. Because why the freak not? And then I'm going to also give me a second, guys. This is hopefully this doesn't take too long for me to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you a couple of images and kind of just give you guys a sneak preview into something that I had already actually written one of these stories, but I need to actually like bring it more into fruition. I need to write the other two stories, and then there's other ones too. So I'm gonna pull up my email and stuff like that, and then I'm gonna just kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. But I kind of gave life to these characters, if you will. All right, so let me remove that, and then I'm just kind of giving you guys an example. And this is a perfect example of utilizing this moon in Gemini, sextiling Venus, and how you can actually kind of start to bring your passions to life a little bit more by utilizing these really cool resources that we have, and just by, taking a shot, going for it, seeing what happens. This is also talking about, of course, that third quarter square, which, like I said, yeah, squares are challenging, but this is a square that actually is not going to be that bad, especially because that moon is going to be disposited by this Mercury, and the sun is there, so it's going to give it some power for sure. So let me let's see. All right, present, share screen. Where am I going to go to? I guess I'll go right here. Bam. Okay. So yes, I made this with AI. I know a lot of people within the spiritual community are like worried about AI and shit, but I came up with this with AI using my own descriptions and stuff like that. This is Marzal. This is Marzal the lion, right? And he has a really cool story. I will share it with you guys. I'm probably going to end up rewriting it, but he has a really cool story. This is a younger version of him. There's an older version of him that I ended up making that I thought was really freaking cool, right? And this is actually one of my guides, so I will go and say that. And then you have this peacock, right? His story is very interesting. I will eventually talk about his story. And this may not be exactly how these guys look, but it definitely kind of gives it more life, you know. And then you also have the rabbit as well. His story is really cool too. I was thinking about his story a lot more the other day, and it finally came to fruit. It finally started to like really come into view. His story is based off of a painting that I did back in Colorado, and it's actually really really cool. His story, I was thinking about a lot more, like I said the other day, and it started to come into fruition. But yeah, these are some of the characters, if you will, and maybe they don't look exactly like this, but it's starting to kind of come together. And when you're able to see these things, and whenever you're able to kind of bring your vision out and bring it into life, you know what I'm saying, it definitely starts to kind of put the pieces together. It really starts to paint that picture of your creativity, bringing that passion forward and stuff. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys and stuff. Just kind of giving you guys a example, from my point of view of how I can utilize this sextile in this square, how I can bring these characters to life, how I can, start to write their stories actually. And being able to see the characters, it kind of, for me, that's where I always start with my stories. I always start with the characters, their personality, what they do, their attributes and stuff like that. That's where I always start, you know, and I kind of jump from there. Being able to actually kind of see them instead of them not just be in my head and in their mind. Now it's like, wow, it's cool. It's like it's starting to come more to life. And it is inspiring to see that. So now it's like, oh, wow, I definitely should write this. Will it turn into some sort of New York Times bestseller? I don't know. But if at the very least, I'm just going to be doing it because I enjoy it. Um, I'm expressing myself, I'm expressing my creativity and my passion, and I can still share that with you guys too. So yeah, just because I show that with you guys, you know what I'm saying? But that's just an example of how we can use the great opportunities and using our peripherals too. That's the thing about Gemini. Gemini rules the peripherals, right? The extremities, you know. So we have to, with this moon over here, with the moon sextiling this Venus, one plus, like I said, 1 + 2 is 3. This is about whether or not you believe you even believe that this opportunity is presenting itself to you right now. Do you even believe that it's possible? Do you believe that your dream is possible? Or do you think it's just going to be a dream forever? You know what I'm saying? Now, we do get that third quarter square, while the moon is going to, well, it's actually going to be at 14 degrees, but it does start the square, it does start the third quarter square while the sun is still at 1359. And it's going to, of course, be squaring Mercury at the same time. It's happening, like I said, at 14 degrees between the sun and Mercury, or the sun and the moon, while Mercury is here at 13 degrees, right? And, with this energy, of course, if we look at the numerology, 1 + 4 is 5, and 5 is Mercury, and that's where Mercury is right here. And like I said, this is going to be, one of these moments, like I said, where it's kind of like we're burning away a lot of the impurities of our thoughts. And that's why I put the meditation for today as, let your feelings and thoughts be like clouds in the sky, and they're just kind of passing by. And that's just kind of how we want to, that's kind of what we want to do and stuff like that, especially considering the fact that this is mutable air. You know what I'm saying? With Gemini, that's kind of what a cloud is, right? Just kind of a passing thought. Now, some clouds can become large and engorged, and then that's when you have like rain, and that's when you have storms and stuff. But they still are constantly changing. So if you feel like you are in a storm right now, know that that storm is not going to last forever. The sun will come out again. Because no storm lasts forever. No hurricane lasts forever. No typhoon lasts forever. No tornado lasts forever. It will pass. This too shall pass. That could be another meditation for today. So if you feel like you are at the end of your rope a little bit, or if you're feeling like there's just so many things going on, we have all these planets retrograde. It feels like things are really moving fast and slow at the same time, and it's causing some delirium. just know that this too shall pass. And just chill out and just imagine yourself, even if it's not, so if it is sunny where you are and it's beautiful, go outside and just look at the clouds, right? If you have a chance to go outside today. If it's raining or whatever like that, imagine yourself, just imagine yourself in like a giant grassy field, with beautiful flowers around and stuff like that, looking up at the sky, and it's just this beautiful blanket of blue with like these puffy white clouds. And just imagine yourself looking at the sky as the clouds are moving by. And just go into that sort of space and that sort of meditation. And just, take a deep breath and realize that's all good. And, it's that kind of a time. It's like things are kind of crazy. They feel weird for sure. But at the same time, it's actually a lot more positive than we probably realize. Let's just take a look at the essential dignities, right? Just right quick. So you can see what I'm talking about, +9, +3, +3, +2, +1, +1, -4. It's funny too because Mars is the fastest moving planet and it's in Libra. But we actually have a lot of positive energy. Neptune will probably be a plus because it's in its home. Pluto, probably a plus, I guess. I would say Uranus is probably a minus because it's in Taurus. But we have a lot of positive energy here. It's just being presented as rather difficult. So let's hop into the cards, shall we? You about to leave? Oh, your hair did come out very red. I like it. Oh, you good, baby?
Have a good day at work.
You too, buddies.
Drive safe, please.
I will. You drive safe. You're gonna do great.
I'll call you sometime.
Sounds good. Guys, let's hop into these cards and see what we got going on today. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about the little ticker across the bottom, if y'all like that or not. So, I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, let me go ahead and add this little flair to it, see what's going on, Yeah. But yeah, we want to, like I said, I kind of started to mention this, and then my thought kind of trailed off, of course. But talking about how Gemini rules the peripheral stuff, you definitely want to just, whenever the moon is in Gemini, this gives us an opportunity to really start to pay attention to our peripheral vision, what's in our periphery, our extremities, and stuff like that. We want to make sure that we take advantage and utilize the tools in our periphery too, and not just be so one track and laser focused, but also take into consideration the things that are around us and our environment too. Because more than likely, there's something in your local environment or a person in your local environment that is going to help you get to the next level. And it's hidden in plain sight, but you have to be open to it. Because if you're so laser focused and so laser visioned, then you're going to miss it. But you have to be open to what's around you as well. So, yeah, I'd say just pay attention to your surroundings. Because there's some great opportunities that are hidden in plain sight. Interesting enough, though, we get the card of control. Can't remember what this card is in this deck, but we have the card of control. I want to say it's like I can't quite remember. But you see how boxy this thing is? How boxy this card is? So we have the card of control, and I also have the card of guidance. We got this yesterday, but it's reversed this time. It is reversed this time. And then I'm going to draw one more card. I'm going to just go to the bottom of the deck and see what we got. Whoa, clinging to the past. Clinging to the past. Interesting enough how I talked about how there's something from the past that could come up today. that could be an opportunity for you to reinvigorate. But yet we get the clinging to the past card that's also upright, clinging to the past with control and guidance in reverse. I think this really comes down to is like you want to just be careful and make sure that whatever it is that you're kind of going to, whatever it is that's being reinvigorated, you want to make sure that it's something that doesn't just completely box you in, you know what I'm saying? And doesn't kind of put you into this sort of matrix where you were, how do I put this? Like, it's interesting. We need the container and we need the sort of structure that the control card is showing us, but we don't want it to be something that also traps us because you can see that she has like this box in her on her head. So you don't want it to become like your own prison or prism. That's the thing about this. So we have to kind of find that balance between taking that thing and it actually becoming like a prison for us. So interesting, we have the guidance card in reverse too. So maybe just be careful of who you take guidance from today. And just also, this could be a moment where maybe you are kind of feeling, maybe into the reverse spot, you are kind of more like this person right here, kind of looking doom and gloom, looking off to the side and kind of worrying. This is definitely a day where I think the meditation for today is actually kind of perfect. We have to kind of see our feelings and thoughts as clouds in the sky and just let them pass by. Because if we try to overly control the narrative right now, we have to have some structure. Remember, Saturn's retrograde too. That's the thing about this. It's not like Saturn's going forward. Saturn is retrograde. She's chilling, right? So we don't want to cling so hard to the past. I'm getting more so that you can't reinvigorate something from the past exactly the way that you thought about it back then. So like for me, if I were to be like, oh, I'm going to be a famous author by the time I'm 30. Well, I'm 31 and I'm not a famous author. If I get so focused and fixated on that feeling and that thought, I'll make myself miserable right now because it's not a reality, right? It's not a reality. And that's okay. So it's like we can't just be like, because then that's when you make yourself depressed. It's like, oh, I should have did this. I should have done that. I should have done this. You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to acknowledge where you are right now, embrace where you are right now, and be like, you know what? If I really do want to reinvigorate that thing, I can do it. And I've grown since then. I've matured. I've had different experiences since then. So it's going to take on a new form, anyways. So we don't want to cling so hard to the past to where we feel like those thoughts and feelings back then that we just clutch onto them. And then if they don't match our current reality, then that's when we start to fuck up. And that's when we start to you know, we start to, shoot, maybe with the whole control card, it's like, watch your controllers, who do you feel like you're being controlled right now by anyone or yourself even? I think today can be kind of a good day of like kind of finding where you can have a little bit of structure, but also seeing where that structure may need to be reformed in a way so that you can really start to feel guided and feel like that you're actually moving towards something, not get so fixated on how you felt or thought in the past about a certain thing or a certain person, and kind of come back to the present and realize that it can be reinvigorated, it can be revamped, upgraded, if you will. Kind of an interesting set of cards, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what we have for the Oracle card message. Oh, we have the narrow pathway. Tread thoughtfully. Look at this bridge that's just kind of waving over this deep valley. It's crazy. I'm guessing that's a castle in the background or something. Right up here. It sounds like a castle in the background. But tread thoughtfully. Yeah, there's an interesting element to today where I feel like, and I think this really just comes down to the square of the moon to, Sun and Mercury. It's like we can definitely be creative and curious, but we also have to just like, what, because of the energies, because of all the retrograde planets, it's definitely easy for you to kind of get knocked off your groove, knocked off your path, and for your emotions to be kind of taken over. And then, you try to act in a way via that Mars and Libra in a way that you feel is going to bring balance, but it's actually going to bring imbalance. So, this is definitely going to be a day where we kind of want to just, yeah, slow down. You know what I mean? I feel like that's honestly this whole week. This whole week is like slow down, take a breath, and keep moving, and not get so wrapped up in crazy thoughts or get so wrapped up in emotions that are swirling or whirling around because we're heading to this new moon in Virgo, which I think is going to be a very powerful new moon. And, you know, we can still have fun, we can still be creative and stuff, but like I said, we are moving into a new world. We are birthing a new world, and I think it's like the control systems here, they are going to be kind of a thing of the past. I can kind of also see the control and clinging to the past being upright, meaning that, this whole feeling like having dominant control, whatever like that, is sort of like clinging to the past, or how maybe the controllers are clinging to the past instead of following the guidance of the universe, because the guidance is the one that's reversed, right? So imagine if guidance was upright and control and clinging to the past were reversed. You can read it both ways. That's the cool thing about it. And this will be like, this kind of flips it on its head. So we can focus so much on uh, the controllers in our life, if you will, and we can kind of cling to that, or we can trust the guidance of the universe and move in a unique and different way. And the path is like you got to go on the straight and narrow. You know what I mean? You have to go on your unique path. You can't follow anyone else, because if you don't make your dreams happen, you will make someone else's dreams happen. And more than likely, you're not going to be you're not going to be in your power if you do that. But that's the thing. We've been fooled into believing that everyone can't walk their own unique path to God, and that everyone can't, experience the height of their expression in this world at the same time, which is an absolute fucking lie. Is an absolute fucking lie. So, you know, that's really what this comes down to. Definitely an interesting day for sure. And interesting astrology. Definitely. Anyways, that's going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care and stay blessed. I will see you guys on the astrology forecast for tomorrow. And remember, I'm going to also be doing the tarot report, the September tarot report for all 12 signs tomorrow as well. So be on the lookout for that. Y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful hump day, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.